Hey everyone! Today I'm going to talk to you about word sorts. Word sorts is a strategy that's been used a little bit in the classrooms already, but for those of you that have never seen it before, it is a strategy that is used to help students understand relationships between words. Usually the words are written on index cards, and then what the students do is they sort the words into different categories based upon any common features or any relationships they see between the words. So this is great because it helps students activate their prior knowledge between words they know to figure out words they don't know. This is a good strategy to use for students in grades K through 12 and can be implemented in both small groups or students can do it independently. One thing for you as the teacher to keep in mind is that there are two different forms of word sorts. There's a closed word sort where the teacher makes the different categories for the students to organize the words, or an open word sort where the students get to create their own categories. So in the classroom, when you are implementing this strategy, the way you would do it is first you would create a list of 10 to 20 vocab words from a reading. Then as the teacher, you will decide if you want your students to work either in small groups or if you want them to work independently. And usually if you have students working in groups, you want to have them in groups of about 3 to 5 students. Then you will let the students know if it's going to be a closed word sort or if it's going to be an open word sort. And if you're going to do an open word sort, what I would have the students do is come up and generate a couple different category ideas, and then as a group you'll decide what categories to use. Then once all the students have their index cards and their groups have been decided, give them about 10 to 15 minutes of work time where they can arrange the words into their groups, and then you can have a whole class discussion. During your whole class discussion, things to bring up are, first you should have each group present a category. While they are presenting, they should be defending their sorting. So ask them questions about, different common features that the words in the group have, or ask how each word fits the criteria. Have other students from different groups also pipe in and see and have them compare and contrast their answers from others. So some helpful things to keep in mind is this strategy is a great strategy to use for before and after reading. So depending on when you use this strategy, just keep in mind that especially if you're going to use it as a before reading strategy, that you might need to give your students a little more support, which isn't a big deal, but it's just something to think about when you're planning a lesson. Then another thing to keep in mind is once all groups are done sorting their words, it can be helpful to do what I like to call a gallery walk, where you have the students walk around to the different groups and see what other students came up with for their word groups when they were sorting their words. Some other things to consider is have the students reflect on certain things like how did this increase their understanding before or after the reading? Did understanding the definitions of these words help them get a deeper meaning to the reading? Were there any changes made, and why or why not? Another thing that would be great to do, especially with older kids, is have them write a summary or reflection on why they chose words to be placed in a particular category. So here are just a few examples of different word sorts that I found online. The one on the left is a great one to use, especially with younger kids. And it's just a very basic word sort. And as you can see from the different groups, your groups don't have to be very complex. Like one is words that end in the AN, and then another group is words that end in AT. And then the one to the right would be a word sort where the teacher uses flashcards. So you as the teacher get to decide what is going to be most convenient for you as far as how you want the students to sort the words. Do you want it to be on a worksheet? Do you want it on index cards? That's totally your call. So here are a couple great resources that I found. Pinterest has tons of great examples for templates, especially with the younger kids. Then I also found on this website called readwritethink.org they had a couple of really good ideas for word sorts lessons. One was for K through 12 struggling readers, and then the other one, it costs about $3, and it's great for grades 1 through 2, and with that $3 you get this really extensive collection of different word sorts activities for all different subjects. Well, I hope that you are able to implement this strategy in your classroom, and thank you for listening.